What's going on, everybody? It's Alpha the Wizard here today, back at it again with another video. Today I'm going to be bringing you a metagame report for the Master Duel tier in the meta and what's going on right now in Master Duel. So with this, I'm going to be referencing Road to the King. It's generally an OCG website where we can see what's going on in the OCG, but in this case it doesn't really matter because we all have the same meta in terms of Master Duel. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and dive into it. So they have it as Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel Season 1. Um, we're going to just go ahead and take a look and see what this is all about. There's some very interesting lists here. So for the metagame analysis, yeah, it says, Master Duel Season 1 uses a Forbidden and Limited list that's rather similar to the OCG list from April 2021 format. But there are some slight differences. Like, some of the key differences is Zodiac Rapier is banned, as well as Zodiac Barrage. Mystic Mine is banned, and Divine Arsenal AA Zeus is at 1. So this does make Zodiac one of the top decks, but it's significantly weaker. So yeah, and we're also using the best of one in Master Duel. So, in terms of being best of one formats, this is kind of what we're looking like here. So to start, probably on the top of the tier list, we have Eldridge. And if you look at this list, it just looks kind of insane actually. So here we have 3 lava golems in the main board and 3 golden lores. I mean, I guess it makes sense if it's pure Eldridge. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You could cut this down to 2, but if it's 3, then apparently it's working. And these are lists that have hit the top of the top on Master Duel, Platinum Tier 1, if that's what it's called, if I remember correctly. But here we also see 3 reasoning. That's insane. And reasoning in Eldridge is actually kind of cool if you think about it, because if they call 10 or 11 or whatever Eldridge is, and you hit a lava golem, that's just a free 3k beater. It's kind of insane. But yeah, and then also here we see 3 skill drain combated with Imperial Order and Vanity's Emptiness. Now, most of you may know in the TCG, Vanity's Emptiness is banned, and Imperial Order should be banned. So, with that being said, like, this is just kind of insane. We do see the 3 Prosperity and 2 Extravagance. Dino Miscus, I could see it, especially if, pitching Eldritch cards just gets good value. Extra deck just looks kind of standard, to be honest. You see the 2 Link Spider, 2 Vampire Sucker. We do see Lina, so that's pretty cool. And then moving on to Tron. This is actually what I've been playing because, as a lot of you may know that have been on my channel, Tron is definitely one of my favorite decks. And in the OCG, they have 3 Ben 10, and this is a highlight. So the biggest things that I see different in here than what most people are used to in traditional Drytron is 3 Maxi. Maxi's kind of insane in this deck, and I've been testing it myself. It's weird. Maxi is just a turn skip. If I lose a dice roll and my opponent like gets Maxi, they half the time they like just end their turn, and then I'm just free to pop off. And I can't tell you how many times I've hit Maxi with Orange Light. It's insane. And not to mention, we have 2 Called by the Grave as well in this format, so that just makes this even more insane. And then, probably to combat the Eldridge matchup, they are mainboarding 2 Lightning Storm because there's no sideboarding in this format. But we do see 2 Ritual Spell. That's pretty interesting. You don't really need to be honest. In my build, I only run 1. Depending on the format, 2 is pretty necessary, but I don't really think it's necessary in this format. But we also do see 3 Ash, because I mean, just what feels better than ashing Maxi? But yeah, the rest of the list is pretty standard. The extra deck, yeah, it looks pretty standard. We do see the Union Carrier and Relinquished Anima. So those are like some key differences from, the current TCG format. Next, we have what I think is the best deck, and that's Virtual World. Now, Virtual World is just insane because while it has struggled with consistency, this deck is just insane. You can fit a decent amount of hand traps, which this list only plays 5, 3 Ash and 2 Max C. I don't necessarily agree with this, just because Max C is just like so good in this format. But we do see some consistency cards, 3 Desires, 2 Talents, and we also see the 3 Crossouts. They're probably just trying to hit Max C with this, and then 2 Called by the Grave. So they're just trying to play through Max C with this, or Ash. Make sure their Lulu doesn't get Ash. One thing I don't really like about this list is only they actually play 3 Nian. I would only play 2 of this, but I mean, it is what it is. I guess you have more e-telly targets, so if it's been working for them, they're on the top tier. So extra deck, we do see the VFD, True King of all calamities. This guy is insane in this format. This is part of the reason why I think Virtual World's best deck is because just calamities just says your opponent can't play. But it does kind of suck against Eldridge, but I mean, it is what it is. Next, we have TriBrigade Lyralus. So this is a deck that was not out back in when this list was a thing in the OCG. So I definitely see this being a really good contender. You can run a good amount of hand traps. This list chooses to run 3 cross out and 2 called by, along with 3 maxi, only 2 Cyframe Gear Gamma. It is limited to 2, and they only play 1 Imperm just to combat the cross out. Don't really like the Imperm, to be honest, just because half the time, like, the only thing that could get Imperm in this deck is just TriBrigade plays. Like, if you're doing your bird combos, like, half the time you have a Sparrow, and they're not gonna be able to target you anyway. But yeah, this only stops TriBrigade, so I wouldn't really worry about getting hit with Imperm unless you really are just adamant about getting some Morg. But yeah, this looks pretty standard. We do only see 2 Sparrow and 1 Sapphire, which that's interesting. Only 2 Nerval. That's kind of weird, but I guess they're not playing Desires in their build like the traditional TCG is. And then the extra deck just looks really standard. We do see that they are opting to play Appaloosa instead of a second Shurik or Access Code, and they also play Rugal instead of Doom Eagle, which I think I might like the Doom Eagle better, but if it's been working for them, it's been working. And then moving on, we also have Zodiac TriBrigade. This deck is actually still insane. So not only do we have the addition of Max C in the format, they're also opting to mainboard some, a good amount of hand traps actually. So they have 3 Max C, 3 Ash, 2 Nib, 3 Imperm. Yeah, they have quite a few hand traps in this, plus more going second cards for Eldridge, 2 Lightning Storm, and 1 Duster, because apparently Eldridge is probably between that and Virtual World and Tron, those are like the 3 best decks. But yeah, so this looks pretty standard for what the format is. I mean, yeah, we do see them running 3 zoos. Three of each TriBrigade except Kiras, only 2 makes sense. And we do also have 3 Tenki, which is kind of insane, not gonna lie, guys. But then extra deck, we also see that Dryden is at 1. So that just makes the strategy like pretty good, not gonna lie. But yeah, moving on. Then we have Pure Zoo. Even with Ratpier being gone as well as Barrage, Pure Zoo appears to be still a really solid strategy, as they can run a lot of going first and second cards, which honestly they probably opt to go first and end on a Trident since they have Trident. And if they can make it to a Utopic future, then they probably do that as well. But let's be honest, like, Zodiac without Barrage and without Ratpier, it's probably tier 1.5. But I still think it's a really good strategy. Definitely one of my favorite archetypes. But I just don't see without its, like, some of its, boss power cards. I don't see it being like tier 1 or tier point 0.5. But it does have a good amount of going second cards, which does make this strategy pretty insane. And we also see 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hand traps, plus Lightning Storms, Rageki, Duster. yeah, we see some quite a few going second cards. So definitely could be a good strategy. And then we see Phantom Knights. Phantom Knights is a deck that I've kind of struggled with Drytron. It's actually pretty insane. They bring out this big boss guy that's like unaffected by like, all card effects, and it just does a lot. I don't even remember what it's called, to be honest. It's like Utopic something. I don't know, but yeah, we see this list is pretty interesting. A lot of going second cards, Maxi, we got Ash, we got Twin Twisters. Um, we do have some going first cards called by Cross Out. Yeah, Cross Out's just insane hitting Maxi. But other than that, this list looks pretty standard. We do see 2 Jackalope and 3 Tsuchinoko. That's insane because, here in the TCG, we don't have that luxury. But yeah, everything else looks pretty good. We do see 3 Break Sword in the sideboard. I guess that could come up. No Appaloosa. That's kind of weird, actually. But yeah, moving on, we do have Madolche. I've been running into this deck quite a bit, and I have to say, it's an interesting strategy, but I don't think it's the strongest strategy, to be quite honest with you. Um, but yeah, so we do see a good amount of going second cards. We see, they play Orange Light, also with crossouts, 1 Droll, 3 Max C. We got 2 Ash, or 3 Ash, sorry. We do see a Lightning Storm, a Duster, 1 Nibiru, one. They're playing a lot of crossout targets, which I don't know how I feel about this, but I mean, apparently it's been working for them, so I'm not gonna judge. For all you Madolche players, I would say this is probably a good reference to look off of, but I would just make your own assessments. Just because, the only thing I don't really like about this is there's playing so many one ofs just for only playing 2 cross out. I don't really like that. If you're gonna be playing a lot of one ofs, you might as well play 3 crossouts. I mean, that's just my thought process. But yeah, we do see the red reboot in the main board. That's kind of cool. Extra deck. Somebody hit me with Underworld Goddess the other day. It was not pretty, but I mean, what do you do? And then we do see Dogmatica, Invoke Shaddoll. I feel like we're getting more into the tier 2 decks. Um, this deck is very hindered in this format just because, as you can see, they only play 2 Maxi in this list, but then we only got 2 Cyframe Gear Gamma. Gamma's kind of a key piece with Alistair. It's kind of good because, Meltdown, Nadir Servant, stuff like that. But they play a very heavy Shaddoll package in this as well. Probably because Meltdown's at 2 and Nadir Servant's at 1, which makes sense to play more Shaddolls. But yeah, extra deck, we do see them heavy on the Shaddolls. We do see the 2 Winda, 3 Construct, 2 App Cologne, Vertes at 1. So yeah, this is kind of cute. They are playing Magicalized Fusion in the main deck. Yeah, that's an interesting addition. I guess if they're heavy on Shaddolls, it makes sense. Uh, I would play 3 Maxi though, to be honest. We do only see 1 Nibiru, and they're not playing Crossout, and there's no sideboard, so that's kind of weird, not gonna lie. But yeah, I guess it's been working. I see Super Polys at 2 as well. And then we see Prank Kids. This is a deck that I've actually struggled with on this game. To be quite honest, looking at the list, they're opting to mainboard DD Crow for whatever reason. And then, I mean, I guess this beats Striker, Eldridge, kind of Virtual World if they send Qinglong. Maybe. But we also see 3 Max C, 2 Skullmeister. They are playing 1 Crossout, 2 Imperm, mainboard Cosmics for back row hate. I don't know why they're not playing Skill Drain. I mean, am I missing something? Wouldn't Skill Drain be insane in Prank Kids? Like, I think 3 Poly's just not it. I would maybe cut a Poly for the Skill Drain, maybe. And, you don't really need Cross Out. And if you're gonna play Cross Out, I would probably up it to either 2 or 3 just to beat Ash and Max C. Those are the 2 main cards you want to deal with in Prank Kids, and maybe mainboard 1 Nibiru just to hit with Cross Out. But hey, that's just me. I would definitely mainboard, probably more cross outs in this deck, and I would definitely probably mainboard 2 skill drain and a Nibiru. But yeah, it's been working. Extra deck's pretty standard. We do see 2 battle butlers. I mean, I guess that could come up, and we do see the Regeki guy or the Harpy Feather Duster guy. So that's kind of cool. And then we got Chaos Thunder Dragon. A lot of you have missed this deck. I personally wasn't playing when this deck was a thing, so I mean, I can't really speak on it. But yeah, we see some interesting iterations here. They are opting to run like pretty pure on the Thunder Dragon side of things. You know, with the airloofs, running a lot of one ofs, but no cross out. I think it's just weird in this format why people do that. One Nibiru, one twin, like that's kind of weird. Um, Extra deck's kind of cool. You know, we do see Colossus is at one. They run 3 Titan because they're heavy on the Thunder Dragons. Anima, that could come up. Striker, you know, this looks like pretty much Dragon Link standard, kinda in a way. But yeah, and then we do see Dragon Maid. Dragon Maid, I haven't ran into this one yet, but I imagine it's like a tier 2 deck maybe. But but yeah, they do run Extravagance, but because they run a lot of 3 ofs in the extra deck, so that's kind of cool. They see a lot of going second cards. Super Poly, that's kind of cute. They're playing the Eldridge guy in the extra deck. They must have trouble with that matchup. Yeah, as we see, you know, the Lightning Storms and Regeki. But they also have Drolls in the main, Maxi, Ash. That's kind of cool to see. Yeah, yeah, I guess it works. But then, you know, we also got Salamon Great. Probably, I want to say maybe tier 2 deck, maybe tier 1.5, probably tier 2 with how strong the other decks are. But we do see Gazelle is still at 1 in this list. Only running 1 cross out. If they're going to run cross out, I feel like it's either like bare minimum 2 or none. Like, there's really no point in running just 1. But yeah, this looks like a really standard salad list, all except Max C. And we also see they're running this guy. This guy is like not really standard in most builds. If I was playing this, I would probably cut this for either a third Parallel C or a third Will. But we do see 3 Circle. That's insane. I just realized that. Yeah, that's pretty insane. Yeah, with running 3 Circle, I would definitely cut this guy for a third Will. But yeah, only thing I would play differently. And then we see Sky Striker. This has been everywhere, guys. Like, I've been running into this left and right with Drytron, and it's hit or miss the matchup for me because, you know, having Shark Cannon is kind of insane. But we do also see 2 Engage, so that's pretty good. It definitely helps the consistency. And we do see 2 Widow Anchor. So this card is limited to 2, or semi-limited. Hauki Fibrax, we see that in extra deck. That's limited to 1. And then we do see a pretty standard extra deck list. They do play quite a few going second cards. And again, with the 1 Nibiru, this must just be standard in this format. I don't get it, but maybe it works. 2 Ghost Spells. That's interesting to see. Maxi, we see 2 Valor, 3 Ash. Oh, and we also see an Extravagant, or sorry, a Pot of Avarice. That's real interesting. But yeah, and then we see Agnister. So this deck is kind of cool, not gonna lie. I've been running into this deck quite a bit. We do see they opt to run the Firewall Dragon. A lot of people in the TCG don't really play that in this deck, but we also see this card. I think this is like one of the newer cards that came out for Agnister, so that's kind of cool to see. But yeah, we do see quite a few going second cards. They're playing like some Code Talker stuff. So yeah, it's just like hybrid in a way, but it's more Ignister focused. So that's real cool to see. Yeah, so they play some good going second cards, but no cross out. 1 Lightning Storm, 1 Twin. Guys, why? Why do you do this? And then we do see Code Talker. I would say we're getting into like the maybe tier 2.5 decks, maybe. Yeah, it looks really cool though. Don't really know much about the deck, but you know, I do see a lot of link climbing in the extra deck. We do see a Vanity's Emptiness in the main board, one cross out. We do see Scapegoat. That's kind of cool to see. But yeah, I like it. I like it. We do see the Lady Debugs. It's pretty cool. And then, yeah, the moment you've all been waiting for, Spiral is at full power. They have in this format, we master plan is unlimited, so that is insane right there. Not only do we have master plan unlimited, but we have 3 Spiral Resort. Guys, what in the heck is this? Like, seriously. I think this deck is like tier 1, if not tier 1.5. Like, if you guys know my story, I came back in the game in 2022 at the very beginning of the year, and this was the first deck that I built. But this this is insane. 3 Resort? What the hell? And Jet Synchron? Like, this is insane. And we got we see a Destrudo in there, a mainboard reboot. We also see 2 Engage. Wow, like this deck looks so fun. Not gonna lie, I might have to build this. But yeah, and then we do see D&D, DD, or however the heck you call it. Looks really cool though. Don't really know much about the deck, so I can't really, talk much about it. I mean, of course, you see the 3 Maxi, 3 Ash Blossoms, Regeki, so like 6, 7 going second cards. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And then we see Pendulums, Endymion. Um, we see 3 upstarts. But I don't understand, guys. Why would you run 3 upstart and 42 cards? Like, wouldn't you just want to run 37 cards in your main deck? Like, all right. That's a weird list. Um, then we see like more of a pure Pendulum Magicians. This is kind of cool to see. We see Skullcrobat Joker at 3. Um, yeah. Oh, this Magician's limited to 2. That's kind of weird. But we do see Astrograph at 1, Chronographs at 1. Uh, no crossouts, but opts to run 1 Veiler. And it's kind of cool, kind of weird. But extra deck, we do see a lot of hate. They do have Electromite, so that's kind of insane. I wonder if that other pin list played Electromite. Yeah, they did. I missed that on the last one. But yeah, Pins is back, baby. But yeah, so that really does it for this video. These decks are actually really, really cool to see. I would definitely say the best deck is probably Eldridge, Virtual World, and Tron. Maybe you could squeeze Spiral in next with Lyralus TriBrigade. But yeah, so that does it for the tier list on Master Duel Season 1. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe down below for future content, and I will see y'all in the next one.